Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Happy World Hijab Day! At my online Souk, we believe in creating a sisterhood with each other. To celebrate today, we wanted to share with you some deeply insightful, although personal, stories from some of our favorite hijabis. In today's climate, wearing hijab is not just a religious statement, it's also an act of courage. Our sisters are more brave than they get credit for. We hope that these stories will inspire you and remind all of us modesty starts with good character, and good character will trump hate and ignorance.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Firdaus and I live in Cape Town, South Africa. I think there are many reasons why Muslim women all over the world decide to wear their hijab every single day. And at the forefront of this is because it is compulsory for Muslim women to cover themselves and dress modestly. My hijab is a reminder for me every single day of how I need to stay grounded and how I need to be humble and how I need to live my life according to the sunnah of Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In situations where there are temptations, it's a reminder for me that I am a Muslim first before I am anything else.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Bashir and today I'm going to be sharing my hijab story with you guys. It started in 2010. I lost my granddad quite suddenly and it was quite traumatic for me because we were very close. 3 months after that was Ramadan and I actually didn't wear hijab to work. The reason I didn't wear it is because I worked in mainly Afrikaans area and the people there were really quite racist to me. They treated me quite differently because I wasn't Afrikaans and also because I wasn't white. So I felt like adding a hijab and adding Islamophobia to that would make life quite more difficult for me, so I chose not to wear it. And driving up back home after Eid, I got this nagging feeling. I just kept thinking about my granddad in his grave and I just kept thinking about myself in my grave and I kept thinking that, you know what, one day when I'm going to be in my grave, that excuse that, you know, I was scared of Islamophobes and I was scared of what people would think was never going to cut it. I mean, it was just going to be me alone in my grave and there would be nobody to answer for me. And I just felt that I wanted to start covering myself, and I turned to my husband in the car and I told him, you know what, I think I want to start wearing hijab from tomorrow. And he just burst out laughing and I told him, you know what, I'm serious, why are you laughing? And he's like, you know what, I give you a week. Because I mean, he knew my style of dressing and he knew that I had never spoken about wearing hijab. It was something I was always gonna probably do when I was much older. It was quite a surprise for him, but the next day I put a hijab on and at that stage I don't think I even owned much hijabs. I think the ones that I did have were you know, the ones you get when you buy a bayas, those black ones. So I put one of those on and I wore my normal uniform or my normal clothing. And alhamdulillah, slowly I progressed from, you know, my short sleeves became three-quarter sleeves eventually became long sleeves, short tops became short dresses and then longer dresses, and I never really wore tights, but you know, I started wearing skinny jeans, wearing you know, not wearing revealing clothing and that type of thing, and I slowly started buying more scarves and watching YouTube videos, and alhamdulillah, that's how it all started, and it's going to be 7 years this year, and I think the only thing I would change was I probably would start wearing it a bit earlier. I won't lie to you and say that it's been easy. Every day is a choice. There's days where, you know, your hair looks so beautiful and you feel like, you know, you want to take those beautiful selfies and upload them on social media, or you want to just go out with that beautiful hair and maybe a function comes up and it would be so much easier not to have to go and look for fabric. It's a choice you make. You just have to remember why you're doing it and why you've started and who you're doing it for. At the end of the day, that's important. You're not doing it for people, because believe me, people will never ever be happy. You'll constantly get that, you know, that's not hijab and that's not hijab appropriate. You know what, we all have to start somewhere, so don't let that put you off, because once you put it on, everything else will come. It just flows naturally. Just make that choice. Don't be afraid that you don't have the appropriate wardrobe, that, or, you know, what people are going to say or whatever. You mean, you always get these comments from people and they'll look at you all sympathetic and be like, oh, shame, aren't you hot in that? Yes, it is hot, but I mean, what's your end goal? Your end goal is pleasing Allah. It's Jannah, and hell is a whole lot hotter than it is here. So I mean, just remember that and remember why you're wearing it. I love matching my hijab to my outfits, and I actually, you know, I went from thinking it didn't suit me to watching so many YouTube channels, and there's a hijab for every face, there's a style for every face, so don't be afraid that it won't suit you.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Akshila Khan. I'm 14 years old, and 3 years ago in grade 6 I started wearing my scarf. I felt like the odd one out because I was at a public primary school and no one else wore a scarf. But then as this year I'm my second year of my hijab, and now I wear it every single day and I feel more empowered with it on, and I feel like I can use it to my advantage with my uniqueness.
Assalamu alaikum, my name is Fatima Khan. I am 19 years old. I don't have much of a struggle when it came to me wearing hijab because the rest of the females in my family always wore hijab. So even before the age that I needed to start wearing my scarf all the time, I was always eager to wear it. I was always eager to be in long dresses. It's a nice feeling being covered and being different and having the freedom to wear and cover yourself when you want to, how you want to, because in many other countries not much females have that opportunity to do it to please their creator. They have to do it to please the laws of their country, whereas here in South Africa, in Cape Town, it is very easy for us.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Shakira. I've been wearing the hijab throughout my life. I attended primary school and I was made to wear those short little burqas. Throughout high school I had to wear the hijab. I'm ashamed to admit it, but it was something that was done very half-heartedly. It was something I had to do, not something I wanted to do. It was only recently that I just contemplated why Muslim females should wear it and what its function was, and that's when I truly fell in love with it. The hijab gives one an immense amount of power. I was now able to lift my head up high and not worry about having people's unwanted gazes on me. It gave me a lot of confidence. By wearing the hijab, we're sending out a message to the world saying that you love God and you value His laws. You're also inviting people in to get to know your true self, your essence, and not your external form.
So this is my hijab story. Once upon a time, in a small sleepy town in Victoria, British Columbia, there was a woman who was a feminist, to say the least. I was always gung-ho feminist, and like many people, I was misled by media, thinking, well, Islam doesn't look upon women favorably. And I used to get a lot of questions from my friends who are not Muslim regarding different things on Islam, and sometimes I didn't have the answers. It compelled me to start doing research and learning more about my deen. In that research, it was amazing what I came across, and the more I researched, the more I fell in love with Islam. Sorry. Okay, anyway, I was saying I fell in love with Islam, and the more I read about hijab, the more I wanted to wear it. I would have to commute by bus to work or cycle, but at the time I think it was winter, so it was a bit rainy, so I would prefer to take the bus. And I remember, oh my god, today's the day. I'm gonna wear my hijab and I'm gonna get on the bus. And I kept feeling self-conscious. It was post 9/11 and there was, I'm living in Canada in a place where there's not that many Muslims, and I thought, oh my god, these people are gonna think there's a terrorist on the bus. But alhamdulillah, it was amazing. People smiled, they were so like supportive, they were so like polite and respectful. It was amazing. It was like I wore that hijab and it was like a crown. I felt like a princess. Alhamdulillah, it's been such a progression, and I felt the inside had to be right first before the exterior. So I started with my salah, my, like general things. Then my dressing, like dressing more modestly, longer tops, not fitted, and that sort of thing. Only then did I start covering my head, let's say. You're not gonna believe this. My first purchase of hijab was online. I know. Who would have thought? I can remember being so excited to open up that package. What color was my first hijab? Of course, you're talking to Sabina, so it would have to be loud. I actually, my first hijabs were, the two-piece ones, like they're called amiras,
which is like it's got an undercap piece and then like a short burqa, because I thought me and tying scarves, hell no. So yeah, I stuck to those easy hijabs. Can you imagine? I do tutorials now. And the funniest thing is, at work people started asking me, are you married now? I think if anyone out there is struggling to wear hijab, or wants some encouragement, please message me, email me, and I'll only gladly listen to you and try to support you in any way I can.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. I'm Thames. I've been wearing hijab for quite a few years now. One of the big things I've felt now after a few years, and I know it may sound like a weird thing, is that you could be wearing hijab forever, but our struggles change every year. We have days when the struggle feels too much, like either nothing's matching, or nothing's just working out, or it's just not sitting right, and you look all zonked up and things like that. I mean, you don't have to change your hair color with every outfit, but your hijab can't be the same with every outfit, so it's a whole matching between it. It's fun, and then you can also have days when you're just like, oh, I'm so done. So my words are, when you go through those tough days, that's your biggest jihad. That's the one that's really testing your strength. And hijab, honestly, is so beautiful. Just because you wear hijab doesn't mean you can't have crazy hair color. Doesn't mean you don't GHD your hair. Doesn't mean you can only have long hair. You can have whatever you want. But I think that the nice thing about hijab is that when I go out there, this becomes my color. This becomes part of who I am. And when I go through those struggles, I try and sit back and think, and I go, well, who am I doing hijab for? Am I doing it for everybody else, or am I doing it for Allah? And I think that our nafs can be so strong at times that we really feel like giving in and going, I can't do it, or nothing's matching, or hijab is making me feel hot, or this hijab is making me feel big, or this hijab is just not working for me. One of the best things to always go through is to make a lot of istighfar, and astaghfirullah helps us. It helps us grow, it helps us strengthen, but also fighting that nafs is an everyday thing. I say, do it in your own little way. If you're struggling with this or with this, some people go, I can't have it around my neck. If you're struggling with this around your neck, then do a turban style if you can for now. I mean, do a turban, do something, try something else. If burqas work for you, do the burqa. We have so many inspiring people. If you're struggling with how to wear the hijab, what to match it with, follow these amazing Instagrammers. If you're feeling bored, let's say, with your hijab, then do that. Go online, look for people that inspire you, look for people who just posting up pictures of how they put their clothes together. I also find that when I am following people online, if I follow more people who are wearing hijab, who are doing their outfit styling in hijab, who are modest wear bloggers, that is more encouragement to me to continue staying in hijab, because these ladies are so inspiring. So I also find that filtering what I see, so that I'm not only seeing people with less than modest clothing, then it also inspires me to keep going. And I think that if I can do it, and I have this big mouth, you can do it. And if you're struggling to do it, just message me or talk to us, or talk to all your sisters. Trust me, if you feel you're going through something, all of us have gone through it too. So it helps to speak to someone. Don't ever feel like your hijab struggle is anything less, or it makes you less of a Muslim. This is your showing of Islam. I also find that living in Western countries where hijab is not the norm, it also feels like a stronger struggle, like you're fighting against the grain. And that is a bigger reward. I mean, look at it. Look at the jihad that you're doing now. You're doing it in a place where it's not a common thing, and I think that really gives you that strength. It also encourages conversation, and people ask you, how is the hijab? How does it go? And it opens up the door to speaking about Islam. And I find that speaking to people who don't know about hijab, it almost makes your love for hijab grow.
Love your hijab! Don't be afraid. But you know what? Just go out there and rock it. If you want to wear it, just go out there and just take that plunge.
You'll be surprised
how Allah gives you so much courage and support when you make such a big decision in your life.
Wearing hijab every day, it becomes easier and it becomes more a part of your identity than you ever thought it would be.
And from me to you, happy World Hijab Day. Assalamu alaikum.
Once upon a time,
I forgot that you could hear me.